I really did start realizing that games are definitely like very much phases for me, because I usually don't play games on my own too much. I'm usually like, I remember a long time ago when I first started doing streams and stuff that I only played games to record and stream. Like that was all I ever did. I do enjoy games, but I don't spend too much time playing them on my own time if I'm not streaming it or recording it. Like work to an extent. Pretty much, yeah, but I enjoy it. If it has like a major goal in mind, I've just been wanting to play 7 Days for a while. So, I'm glad to finally be back in it. I mean, a job? Well, kind of. The thing is, what's different between like a job and this is that I actually enjoy this. If I actually had a lot of financial repercussions come out of doing this kind of thing, I would definitely be sticking to it. But I don't. I don't get a lot from this, especially since I started a separate channel. I remember Omega was telling me that doing the split channel thing was a bad idea. I'm starting to agree with him now, because there was such like a growth in the fan base over on the original channel, and when I started doing this, it was so I could separate VR stuff and desktop. But I just play a lot of desktop now. So the VR channel, like the big one where all like subscribers and stuff are, they have nothing. And genuinely I wanted to make a channel for like, oh, like, I don't know, I'm a bit iffy on a React channel, because there's some things I have like thoughts on when it comes to some videos and everything, but I don't know if that's a bad choice. Doing streams, doing recordings, I've just been very iffy about it, because it's going to use time. It's going to use the time that I might not have. Especially since I probably should be exploring new outlets. But I can honestly say that this is probably one of the most strong outlets that I have in my life that means something. And when I spent that time where I wasn't recording anything or streaming or uploading, I just felt like this eagerness to get back to it, but didn't feel like it was worth it. So I just never did it, but it always sat in the back of my mind. I would go to work and be like, I hate being here. I don't want to be here. Why am I here? Like, I would prefer to be home and just do nothing versus working there. The people aren't bad, like the people I work with. It's just the job setting overall. I think it's because it's a job that I've already worked. I got that job because I was familiar to it, so I needed a job. And I was just like, okay, this is a job I'm familiar with, I'll be good at it, I can do this. But it's just the same garbage that I was working with before. Like, it's a bad job. I think everyone wants to stay home and do nothing instead of work, but it's understandable you think that. Personally, I guess going back to what David said, is that this is work. This is a job, practically. Like, I'm doing it to entertain you, hopefully. And hopefully to finance myself in some capacity, even if it's like a few cents. Because I think in the long run, I love it, and it makes life so much more worth pursuing, like to learn. I do want to travel and stuff and learn some more things like that. Having this is just such a benefit to me, and I can't let it go. I just can't. I would recommend expanding your bounds. One of the things that they tell me too is that, like, and I'm very aware of it, there are so many jobs like in my area, because I don't enjoy the job I do have. I've had enough experience in it to be like, no, not gonna spend my entire life doing this. Believe me, I think if my perspective on it was very different, I probably could continue, but the job really isn't worth it. I'd rather do something different. Something more down this route, down the tech or like creation industry. That's for me. But I do know that there's probably a bunch of jobs out there that I've never seen, never heard of, in just like my local town, that are jobs that are like not very well known. Because like in my area you hear about like agriculture, you hear about like sales, you hear about some tech stuff, as well as like office work. I think the biggest one is sales out here, which is not great for me. Or customer service is a good one. I think customer service is where I'm mostly down, which is weird because the job that I don't like requires a lot of that. I think it's just the place that I'm at is what puts me in a bad mood. If it was somewhere else, because genuinely, I'm pretty embarrassed to have the job that I have, so maybe if I had a job I actually enjoyed, I'd probably have a whole new look on life. And I recommend that you mates do too, like if you guys have started any jobs. I know some of you are, you'll likely end up starting in a job pretty standard like everybody else does. You either work like in a fast food place or something like that, because I definitely did. Well, I knew somebody to get my first job, and then I found my next one through a temp agency that helps you find jobs by directly communicating with certain people in the business. I got my next one through the same person who gave me the first job. And then the fourth one was when I moved. My position, I moved from just a standard like starter job, and then I got put into a managerial position. So I got put into a leadership position. So that's kind of like what I do now. I'm kind of in a lead spot, but with the job that I have, it's such a drag. It's so boring. I think that's the point for me why I don't like the job, because I do enjoy the time that I do it, but I don't enjoy the job itself. It's funny because my last name, I like to find the fascinations behind names and stuff, just like where the meanings come from, because that's how they give names and such stuff like that. But my last name derives from the term leader. So I use those as like signs to show it's just like, well, maybe I'm supposed to be in a managerial position. It just depends on where I do it at. Because even in my head, I'm sure you have witnessed this before. Everybody who's here has probably witnessed this before in any series that I have probably done on either channel, is that I have unknowingly put myself in a position of leadership when it comes to creating videos. I don't know if you mates can agree with that or not, but I felt like that was the case. And if I'm wrong, then I might be wrong. But like when I did a small price to pay for frame rate series, I gotta tell you, love that series. I really did. And I put myself in a place of asking people to do things, like things that they're not familiar with. Like they didn't actually ask to do any of that stuff. Some of them did. But I directed, but more so directing. Directing is like that managerial position where you guide people to do certain things to flush out a story. And it wasn't until way later that I realized it was just like, oh yeah, I have done that before. So I found out for myself that I have already put myself in a position of leadership. And also another thing to tell you, if you guys also remember the ATT SMP series, it was started by Omega. Like he's the one he's like the project creator. He's the producer of the project. But it was weird because sometime later when we were all working together, at some point Omega had put me in the position of basically managing the project, like directing where the path of the story would go. And it didn't feel right because it was his project, but he had told me about doing that. I mean, in the most part, it was probably amongst us all. It wasn't just me. But I was put yet again in a position of direction and leadership. So I'm still wondering, like, even to this day, like, am I supposed to? Like, me as an individual, is my duty on this planet to direct people? And not in just the sense of like movies, like direct. So maybe, who knows? I have to get into the mood again, because that's the biggest problem for me, is that I've had very little human connection recent days. Like I see some of the people at work, but that's like one other person, and personally, I don't know if we have very similar things to talk about, so I don't really engage, so to speak. But I don't really have any other outlets besides this, doing the YouTube stuff. It's a format, it's a platform where people like yourself can communicate. And I found that amongst all of you mates. Like, the reason why, like, learning about it is that you mates came to this channel because you found it entertaining. I always look at, like, who the big shots are right now, like, Queso and, who else? I Show Speed, or even like Mr. Beast and all them. Like, they're big shots, and they have a very specific behavior and personality that attracts the masses, and I don't do that. Like, I'm aware of that. And I'm not trying to go, like, I'm not trying to be the biggest. I'm very happy being, like, a middleman. Because most of the time, too, like, when it comes to creative work, I really, most of the time, just want to work in the background. That's why I wanted to do editing as my first placement. That was, like, my go-to job. That's what I wanted to do. Because I wanted to push forward other people's creations. I wanted to help them become creative. Joining Omega on his project for the SMP was an opportunity to do that. And I was very happy to do it, and it's very unfortunate that the project didn't go through. But ultimately, the saying goes, you kind of have to keep going forward. If you're doubting yourself, even for me, I've had people say things to me that made me feel doubtful. But it's my own... But the doubt isn't being put on me by other people. It's being put on myself. I'm the one who's doing it to me. So if I don't think I'm capable of doing it, it's because it's my own mind that's telling me to. I'm just receiving guidance from other people telling me that if things don't work, try something else. They're not telling me to just give up on it and work some job that I don't actually enjoy. It's just keep searching until you find what you love. Like, that's how that works. I really think that this is it, but I still do want to explore just in case. Because if I don't experience all the things, how am I going to know for sure if this is like the only thing I actually enjoy doing? How do I know that there's not an opportunity, a different job somewhere that I'm more capable of doing and enjoying simultaneously? So I'm not, the problem is just not understanding where to look. Like, I don't know what the next step into searching for that is. Especially since I have a hard time personally for myself. It's very hard for me to take risks because I don't know what the outcome could be. Especially when it comes to financial stuff. Because I was thinking, it's just like, oh, what if I move somewhere? Like, if I go move somewhere, because I've been feeling like I've been stuck out here where I'm at for so long that I wanted to go move somewhere else. But who knows, that might not even be the answer too. Because the things I love, especially when it comes to food, like my favorite foods are here, as far as I'm aware. But there are places I have never been. The same thing applies there. I have not been to too many places anywhere else. So how can I say that I don't like something if I haven't been around to check it out? Hey, Charmander. Without the ander. Hi mates, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then consider subbing to my YouTube and follow me on Twitch. It shows me that I can post more and that you love what I do. Also consider dropping some likes in the video. I would appreciate it very much. And with that being said, I thank you all and hope you have a good day.